All right, when we are live, so today is 10th of June and it's Monday. So, my name is Harsh. You are watching this live stream on esports and information. In these live streams, we discuss the global headlines all across the world. So, headlines are the piece of information that are usually used as a hook to catch your attention. And the hook is very powerful. Hook is used to shape narratives all across the world. Different political parties use this. Many international organizations also use this tactic of employing a hook to hook your attention. So let's see what else is going on across the world. And all right, first of all, let's start with BSF, that is Border Security Force. Now, so um, you might have, if you follow international politics, you must have seen multiple images of how countries fortify their borders. If you look at the borders, fortification of borders on Egypt and Gaza, you will see how borders are fortified. Whereas if you come to the South Asian subcontinent, fortification of border is never considered to be an issue. I if you really want to appreciate the NDA government of from 2018 to 2024, 2019 to 2024, if you really want to appreciate them, one very huge undertaking that they had taken was fortification of land borders with the other neighbors. So yes, on the Indo-Bangladesh border, a lot of gold has been discovered, or rather than discovered, they have confiscated. The border security force on the Indo-Bangladesh border, they have recovered a huge quantity of gold biscuits and bars worth rupees 3.23 crore. All right, now this is not a small amount. If used wisely, somewhere close to 4 cr can be used to give a significant blow. And let's not operate under the assumption that the gold that was being smuggled was going to be used for noble purposes. Obviously, if it were to be used for noble purposes, they would bring in legally, not like this. So yes, fortification of borders. And the Indo-Pak border on the western front is very well fortified up until the borders of Rajasthan, and even up until Himachal Pradesh, I would say. But the disputed territory of POK and all those areas still remain porous, and they're not properly fortified. Even the northeastern states, they share border with Myanmar and even Bangladesh for that matter, and we do not have a strong fortification on that border. And so you see there is considerable inflow of illegal immigrants coming from those countries and start living here. There have also been evidences about how local politicians have enabled them to get Aadhaar cards and even passports for that matter. Many TMC, Trinamool Congress leaders from the state of West Bengal have been allegedly been involved in providing fake documents to these illegal immigrants. And keep in mind, West Bengal is a state that shares a huge border with Bangladesh, and yeah, it is also it has also been home to many of the illegal immigrants from Bangladesh. So hence we see a lot of demographic change in that state, and it's a topic about a whole different video, the situation in West Bengal. All right, one sad news: a bus carrying pilgrims was attacked by militants in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and the bus fell into a gorge, killing 9 people. No, let's not discuss this, otherwise we will hurt the secularist sentiments of a lot of people. Although I think secularism is a hoax, it doesn't mean anything. It was just a word that was inserted at a later stage in our constitution without any bearing on society. And yeah, all right. So, yes, moving on to the oath taking ceremony of the head of the government, that is the prime minister in our democracy. He took oath amidst a lot of fanfare. Um, it was the president, Draupadi Murmu. She administered the oath of office to the prime minister. She is usually regarded as the head of the prime minister is the head of the government, president is the head of the state. So president is a ceremonial head. Okay. Yep. So amid the dignitaries who were present during the oath taking ceremony, it was Bollywood celebrity Shah Rukh Khan was also present. You could see Mukesh Ambani, Gautam Adani, and many other people who who are significant faces in the public life. They were present over there. So many of the cabinet ministers they took oath, and it was a good spectacle to see. Some of the ministers they have failed to secure the Lok Sabha seats, and they have not taken their oath of office. So you will see some changes in allotment of portfolios this time around for the cabinet ministers. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll find out as time goes by. Next up is the state of Uttar Pradesh. The Yogi Adityanath administration has made an announcement that they will bring a new law to deal with cases of paper leak in exams. Now, keep in mind, very recently, the National Testing Agency that conducts the exam of NEET, has been come under a lot of criticism for not undertaking or not taking up NEET properly. Now, these are just allegations. There have been no concrete evidences or no um, uh, yeah, so they've not accepted it, or rather, they have come out right and stated that there was no wrongdoing in conduction of NEET. So yes, the state government of UP will bring a new law to deal with the cases of paper leak. Now, keep in mind that there are candidates out there who work day and night. They do not come from a privileged socioeconomic background. So these exams are a single ticket for them for social mobility. And when there are such paper leaks, you undermine their efforts, and it's a really big mental blow to them. So it's a good move. It's a good move by the Adityanath administration to come up with a law to tackle cases of paper leak, because it really hurts the morale of the candidate, and it really impacts his performance. So yes, one of the measures that the new law will bring into force is the only in educational institutes will that would be allowed to serve as centers for these exams will have CCTV cameras in every room, and the exam centers will only be in urban areas. So it will be easier for urban candidates to appear for these exams. However, the rural candidates will definitely have to make an extra effort to come to the urban areas and appear for those exams. All right. Very recently, also, there have been cases of copy cases in Bihar and UP. So, yeah, they are ensuring they're taking steps to ensure that such things don't happen again. All right. So, the state of Odisha is again in the news because amidst all the Lok Sabha elections, uh, a lot of people have missed the state legislature elections in the state of Odisha. So, Naveen Patnaik, who had been in power since I would say more than 1 decade. So he has served 3 terms, it is somewhere close to 15 years um, in power in the state of Odisha. Now he has been overthrown by the BJP in the state of Odisha. So it would be interesting to see who is the new face, the new chief ministerial candidate that they put forward in the state of Odisha. So they have scheduled the oath taking ceremony on June 12th. So the new chief minister of Odisha will be sworn in on June 12th. And yep. So after the 78-member BJP's legislature party in presence of central candidates. So there are somewhere close to 144 seats in the state legislature of Odisha, and BJP has managed to secure 78 seats. So it is just slightly above the majority mark, and with help of few of the independent MLAs, they should be able to form a government in the state of Odisha. Yeah. So remember, this is the first time in 15 years that the people of Odisha has changed the dispensation at the in the state legislature. So it would be interesting to see how BJP goes about the situation. Next up is the continent of Africa. Suspected Islamists in eastern Congo kill more than 80 in a week. Now, many of the countries of Africa, they have been reeling under this constant problem of Islamic militancy. And very recently, it is this country of Congo who has been at the receiving end, who has been at the receiving end of this thing. And wait a minute, let me just present to you so it becomes easier for you to see. Because this is something that you need to watch. I hope this is visible to all of you. Okay. So, suspected Islamists in eastern Congo kill more than 80 in a week. Okay. Okay. Yep. So, there is a part, this one, Allied Democratic Forces. Okay. Now, these people, okay, here, if you read this line, it says the ADF, which is now based in eastern Congo, has pledged allegiance to Islamic State. Okay, so now these are fundamentalist and radical Islamic bodies who want to, I guess, dominate these areas of Congo. And these African countries have a history of conflict. So there is also some tribal tribal differences that make this that accentuates the conflict that is already going on. So on top of it, if you so on top of the already deep tribal differences that they have, and if you compound that with the Islamic fundamentalism that is being spread across the African subcontinent, so it really compounds the effect of uh, these conflicts. And you see that these people, they have killed more than 80 in a week, but we don't read these things in mainstream media, because it's there is this mentality among people that African lives are somewhat worth lesser than the all the other lives on earth. Yeah. Now, this is not something that has come up in the recent past. If you follow headlines, you will see that this has been a constant thing right from the beginning of the 21st century. So many of the North African countries, be it Algeria, Sudan, Ethiopia, and Congo, for the one that we are discussing right now, these countries have been reeling under the influence of fundamentalist Islam for quite some time now. So next up is Pakistan Army. Okay, Pakistan Army. Now, obviously, these guys, they do everything apart from protecting the civilians. That is the first and the foremost duty of an army. So there was a bomb blast that killed 7 soldiers of the Pakistan Army. Now that incident took place in the Marwat district. Okay, the Marwat district in the northwestern part of Pakistan. So this part has shares a border with Afghanistan, and it is a tribal region where the penetration of law is very low, and it functions on tribal rules. So it was an IED, that is improvised explosive device. In total, there were 7 soldiers that were killed, and so there has been this friction going on between the Pakistan and the Afghanistan military, because both the sides do not concede this demand of to whom actually that territory belongs. There are misunderstanding between these two. Now, what is interesting about this piece of information that might be helpful to you to get some context as to why is it relevant for us, because it's simply just Pakistan's roosters, Pakistan's chickens coming home to roost, I would say. If you see over here, okay, so I'm reading a statement. I'm reading a statement. Wait a minute. Uh, Reading a statement, the paraphrasing of a statement by some government bodies in Islamabad, that is the capital of Pakistan. They say that the TTP meaning Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, it is a militant group on fundamental Islamist ideology. So it is a uh, militant group, and so there is a statement from the capital of Pakistan regarding TTP leaders. They say that TTP leaders have taken refuge in neighboring Afghanistan, where they run camps to train Islamist militants to launch attacks inside Pakistan. Now, if you look back, so in brief, let me tell you, there is a leader in Pakistan that is accusing Afghanistan of training terrorists and sending them back inside Pakistan. So it's really funny for me, because whenever Bharat accuses Pakistan of training these militants and sending them across the borders in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, they usually deny it. And so how does it feel, Pakistan, to get a taste of your own medicine? Now, don't forget, Pakistan is still a country that is harboring terrorists. Don't forget where Osama bin Laden was found. So yeah, that's it is what it is. You can rationalize it as much as you want, but in the end, Pakistan is a terrorist state. The Islamic Republic of Pakistan is a terrorist state. All right, upcoming is next is the relations between China and Pakistan. Okay, so if you see, um, the countries of China and Pakistan, obviously they need to strengthen their relationship, but this relationship is not strictly based on give and take. All right, China is offering a lot of money to Pakistan in exchange for a piece of its sovereignty, and this isn't exactly give and take on international lines. So yes, China Pakistan agreed to strengthen mining and oil and gas corporation, the gas cooperation. So close to, I would say, where is it? It was written somewhere over here. Yes. So somewhere close to $65 billion is the Chinese investment in road infrastructure and development projects under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Now it would be interesting to see how Pakistan is able to repay these loans, because as we know, their economy is in shambles right now. Shambles would be an improvement. They need to take loans just to pay the government employees every month. They do not have enough capital to repay the government employees every month, and they're taking large number of loans from China in the first place. But on top of that, they're taking loans from IMF and a lot of other international bodies as well. So it would be interesting to see how would they repay these loans, and let's see, has any country on an international level declared itself bankrupt? Like, I know of individual bodies, individual banks, individuals going bankrupt, but is there a country that has declared itself bankrupt? I guess we'll have to Google that. Or if there isn't, Pakistan is well on that way to, achieve that feat of becoming a bankrupt country. Okay. So, like we discussed in some of our few previous live streams, in the European Union, there are elections going on. So, for those of you who have zero clue about what these elections would mean, it means that, like we have two separate elections for state legislatures and Lok Sabha, similarly, European Union has two separate elections. One is for the European Union Parliament, that representatives from each country elect their representatives, and another one is for domestic affairs. So very recently in the European Union, there was this election that started off from Denmark. We have covered this in our past live stream. So it started off from Denmark. Now it has largely concluded, but it has brought to the fore some of the underlying issues inside the European polity. Number one is their problem and discontent with the centrist and the left liberal ideology. And it has brought to the fore that, because if you see in many of the countries, it is the far right and the center right parties that have managed to dominate the EU elections. So we see this advent of the right in the continent of Europe, because people are very much aware, and people have grown very much conscious about the repercussions that the liberal immigrant policy of the left has, presented to them these days. And it wouldn't take long for you as well, if you still want to find out what exactly has the policy of immigration done for the country of Europe. You can see it. It's widely available on the internet, and yeah. So yes, the far right has managed to edge out the left in the European Union elections, and yep. So, based on this, Emmanuel Macron, who is the president of France, he has decided to call a snap parliament vote. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a poker move. I mean to say, okay. So, imagine this. Okay. Um, Imagine this, that there are two layers of election: first layer for the union government, and the second layer for the domestic government. So, in the EU elections that are recently concluded, it was far right that managed to take up majority of the seats compared to the left. So, hinted by this, President Emmanuel Macron has called snap parliament vote, meaning now the people of France will vote whether they want a leftist president, centrist or a leftist president, that is Emmanuel Macron, to take domestic decisions, or they want somebody from the right end of the spectrum to control the domestic affairs. And going by the sentiment of the natives, I would say this is a gamble that the French president has taken. And let's see how the gamble pays off, because his popularity has been at an all-time low. And let's see. So again, so the French people will again vote who they want to see, uh, which political party they want to see handling the domestic affairs. Now, even if the right managed to get a majority of the votes in the snap elections, which, based on the current sentiment of the French people, I would say that there are high chances that the right also takes over the domestic affairs, but it will still be Emmanuel Macron who will control, or his party will control, defense and foreign affairs. But domestic affairs will definitely go to the right if they manage to win this snap parliamentary vote. Okay. So in politics, this is called as calling the bluff. I would say that uh, Emmanuel Macron, he has realized that if the people of Europe, they are not content with the policies of the left, then let's find out from snap parliamentary elections. And if they are really not content, so they will show their opinion in the snap polls. So we will find out shortly. Again, the There was very recently there was this meeting between the leaders of France and US, that is Emmanuel Macron and Joe Biden. They met and they decided on so get this, in the year of 20 somewhere when Russia went to this when Russia overtook this area of Crimea, and I guess it was in the year of 2014, and from ever since 2014, this bitter conflict between Russia and the West has started when it undertook this, overtaking this geographical area of Crimea. That is a video for a different. That is video for some another time, because there are considerable amount of arguments to be made from the side of Russia, as in why it was strong armed and compelled into taking such an action. But that is for some other video. Right now, what happened after this event was the West, the Western countries of Europe, they started seizing or freezing Russian assets in their countries. Now, majority of the Russian assets are with the EU. Okay, so they started freezing these assets. Now, what happened after freezing these assets was these assets, they started accumulating a lot of interest, a lot of profit in form of interest. Now the countries of the West, such as France and US, they are wondering how to use these profits from these assets to help Ukraine. So they are finding out ways to finance a loan to Ukraine somewhere close to $50 billion. Yeah. So just to give you a brief idea, about 260 billion euros. So if you count that in dollars, it comes to roughly $280.9 billion dollars of Russian central bank funds are frozen worldwide, most of it in the European Union. So funds are generating somewhere close to 2.5 to 3.5 billion euros a year in profit. So these profits now, like the EU says that they are not contractually obligated to give these things to Russia, and therefore it represents a windfall. Windfall is something like any loose cash that you get to keep for yourself is termed as windfall. So the Europeans are of the opinion that they are not contractually obligated to give these profits back to Russia, and they will use it as a capital to finance $50 billion of loan to Ukraine. Let's see how this pans out in the future. However, Russia has made it clear that any effort to use these funds should be counted as a theft. And it would be really disgraceful for the countries of the West if it indeed is a theft. Right. Next up is Israel extends Al Jazeera ban by 45 days, citing security threat. Now, Al Jazeera has been frequently accused of propagating misinformation or false information, or framing narratives that are kind to the militants and fundamentalists from Islam. So yes, Al Jazeera is a Qatari-backed media house, and it had its office in Israel. So it's a good sign, like I said, if you are a democratic country and that democratic country allows you to set up an office in that country, and allows you to run media operations in their country, that itself is a big sign that they are in support of freedom of expression. But dynamics change when you use the liberty that is given to you by a democratic country, and you use that liberty to somehow help the other side, with which the state you are in is engaged in a constant warfare. So obviously they're not going to let you stand, and that is what has happened. So yes, Israel has extended the ban on Al Jazeera for another 45 days. However, there is an appeal in a Tel Aviv court that is going on. Al Jazeera has filed a case in an Israeli court against the state of Israel. So let's see what comes out. And so the court has given Israel uh, a question. Okay, and they have given them a timeline up until August 8 to offer arguments for why it should not be determined that the law preventing a foreign broadcaster from harming national security is void. So basically, what they're trying to say that like Israel has a law which gives the state which gives state some powers to regulate their media when it comes to national security, and that is the law under which they have banned Al Jazeera. So a court in Israel has questioned the legitimacy of the law itself, and they have asked the state to present argument as in why should this law be not chucked into the bins. So let's see what could be the outcome of the law. But I guess in a democratic country, this is how things function. You have a right to appeal in a Supreme Court. Okay. Yes, Al Jazeera has rejected all the claims as excuses and accusations, and yeah. Remember, Qatar has been accused on an international level. I guess very recently, if you guys have not seen it, there is this foreign minister of Saudi Arabia who is coming out in public and saying it on record that Qatar has been helping and financing militant Islamists in the Gulf region. So this should not come as a surprise if Qatar is found supporting terrorists. All right, that's all for today. These were the national headlines from all across the world. If you like such content, if you want to see more of such content, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Do check out our Instagram page. You will definitely find some material to read upon. And I will see you guys in the next stream.